Hey everyone, it's Moonkin FTW here with another episode of making a smooth and realistic coaster. And today we're gonna do some more things around the coaster to make it look more realistic. And I'm gonna give it the best shot possible. So for today, we're first gonna focus on the fencing. Now the fences in Roller Coaster Tycoon 3, at least the standard ones, they are not diagonal. So if you try to make a diagonal fence, it's gonna look like this. This looks pretty hideous. So what I did, I had an idea and I used another add-on, which is JCat Steelworks. And in JCat Steelworks, you're actually able to make diagonal beams or whatever. So I thought to myself, I can make a diagonal fence. So I pre-saved a diagonal fence, and that actually turned out to be quite a nice idea. So instead of having the standard fences, we're just going to use my own design. And this will make it look more realistic, because it's a bit weird if you have the path and then nothing, and then you can just walk out right to the roller coaster, the supports and everything. Of course, if you go to any real theme park, there's going to be fencing around every flat ride or every ride in general. Of course, it doesn't make any sense that you can just walk up to any ride and just it's of course dangerous. So we're just gonna go around and pretty much the whole park to see what needs to be fenced off. We're going to fence off some flat rides. We are going to fence off, of course, the roller coaster. And I'm just kind of looking where exactly I want to place these fences. In some places, I want them to be right next to the path. And I'm thinking about leaving a little bit of space here and there where I might actually plant some trees or maybe some bushes or like some flowers or something to leave a bit more space open. Now, obviously, behind the fencing, I will place a bunch of trees as well, because I don't want things to look too pale and boring, if you will. So of course we're going to do that as well, but for now we're just going to make sure that everything is fenced off. So just going to keep doing that. And this does take a bit of time, but again, it's all about making the most realistic roller coaster. And again, we can't just focus on the track and the roller coaster itself. We have to also make sure that the surroundings are realistic. Like I said in the previous episode, where it's not just a roller coaster, you have to maximize the realism, so to say, you have to also make sure it's in a theme park setting. So here I had an extra idea. I wanted to make a small little area here where people can check out the wooden coaster a bit more closer. And I'm also planning to maybe make a garden there or a food court or something. But for now we're just going to fence off most of the paths here. Again, here at that overbank turn, I want the fences so people can't just walk up to the roller coaster. And we're just gonna keep doing this. This actually took a decent amount of time, but I think it actually, with some trees and some foliage and some other stuff, it's gonna look pretty darn nice. Ideally, it would be great if RCT3 had standard fences that were diagonal, but unfortunately they don't. So again, we're gonna have to improvise, and we're just using JCat Steelwork to make our own fences. Now, it doesn't look the prettiest, but it's a hell of a lot better than those really janky non-diagonal fences, so to say. So you use what you can, and you figure out a solution on your own. So for now that we're almost done, we just gotta fence off a few more small areas here and there, and then I'm gonna do this part, of course. And here I had another idea. So this is the second airtime hill, and I'm going to make another kind of section here where people can see the roller coaster up close, take some nice pictures for to look at, or just look at it. And I might actually also make a small food court here, because I would just want to have a few around the park to make sure that the guests have a place to that the guests have multiple places to get food and drinks, basically. So I think this is probably the last little bit I need. And now we're gonna go ahead and place some stalls. So I'm gonna make a food court here, just very basic, just some burgers and some cookies and some drinks. Nothing fancy, it doesn't need to be fancy. So I put a chicken stall here, pizza, and of course drinks. And of course here, like I said, I wanted to make a small food court here, just burgers and drinks. So that is also now done. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is a little bit mundane, but has to happen, is that I want this park to be functional and fully operational. So, of course, we need to have a bunch of handyman that will keep the park nice and clean. So, got to make sure that every little area is covered. And because, this is sandbox mode, so there's no money, I can just, spam a lot of handyman and, because money doesn't matter, of course. So we're just going to spam a whole bunch of these all over the place to make sure that the park is nice and clean. Which, I know you can't see it because of the custom scenery path, so to say, but it still kind of matters to me. So we have one small area here left with the fencing, so I'm kind of figuring out how I want to do this. And again, I might actually just place some trees there, again, leaving some room for foliage. Now, I'm going to finish this off right here. I'm not 100% sure on this yet. I might change it a little bit later, but we'll see. Just going to add some custom path covers also for the burgers and fries, and also for the flat rides to make sure that all the pavement is basically the same color. So yeah, that's starting to look very nice. And now we're going to focus on the station of the roller coaster, which is actually something I haven't done yet. We'll do it now. Now this is actually a design that dates way back to 2008, believe it or not. I still have that original tutorial up on YouTube, so it's now 15 years old, actually 16 years old. And I'm going to use some standard block pieces and then this add-on, which is SKHR. It's a weird name, but you have these nice roofs, if you will, and you're able to make a nice station. So there you go. And of course the cube paths. It's really nice. You can change the color of the cube path to your liking. So I'm going to make it white blue, and then of course some canvas tents to cover to protect against the shade, basically. And if we're going to make a station for the Giga coaster that we made, I'm also going to make a station for the wooden coaster that I made as an extra. So this is going to be a pretty simple Western themed station. Pretty simple, but you know, it just makes it look so much better. So we're just going to add a couple of pieces here, some windows, and yeah, again, nothing too fancy, but this is not the main focus, of course. It's the main focus, of course, the Giga coaster. So now we're going to also change the colors of the rides a little bit, and of course the paths, which I really like because in RCT3 you can actually customize the color of the path to anything. So if they start out all as black, which is really hideous. So I'm going to add some nice colorful stuff to it to make it look a bit more nice. Really paying attention to detail here. I know, I sometimes get swept away with camera making a path, making a park. So up next, we're going to tackle the small area here. I said I wanted to make a garden here, so I'm going to add a few fountains, some small bushes. And I'm going to do the same here. I'm going to make just a small kind of garden with flowers and some small trees. Again, to spruce up the place. It's just the beginning of adding the foliage to the small park that is around the Giga coaster. So here, I'm just going to add some more foliage. And yeah, starting to look a lot better now. So now, of course, with any park, you can't just have pathing. You need to have benches and, of course, dust bins or litter bins or whatever you want to call them, garbage bins. So we got to have that too. This is, again, very simple. Doesn't take a lot of time. Just I'm going to place them here and there, and just so the guests have some place to sit on. And that's that. And then, of course, afterwards, we need to place some garbage bins so that when the guests eat something, they can throw it away instead of just throwing it on the floor. Of course, we don't want to prevent that. So there we go. I'm gonna do that. And of course, after this is done, we also need to add a few more facilities, which are toilets. Of course, very important that the guests are able to do their business in the park. So we're just gonna add a few here and there, and yeah, just all over the park, so they have plenty of room to do that. Now I'm gonna make the pavement for the flat rides as well. And of course, a few more pieces that align with the path covers. So that is now all done and starting to look better and better. We're getting closer and closer to getting done. And yeah, it's starting to look really nice now. And I think we're pretty much it for this episode. And yeah, I think it looks very nice. And we're almost there. So the last episode, which will be the next episode, we're just going to focus on the foliage, which is just planting some trees. And then maybe a final check of the park and the coaster to see if everything is in place. So yeah, we've come quite far in compared to episode 1. We've done a lot to accommodate the roller coaster to make it as realistic as possible. And of course, after the last episode, all there's left to do, of course, is show you guys the POV. But for now, this is where we're at. And yeah, thanks again for watching. I'll see you guys in episode 5, I believe, where we will finish off the coaster. But for now, as always, I want to thank you for watching and have yourself a wonderful day.